Guru Nation, what is up? Welcome back to another small cap biotech. It doesn't get any better than the small caps for a number of reasons, whether you want to be an investor, whether you want to educate yourself more on truly the cutting edge research that's going on. This is where you want to be. Whether you're a job seeker, I mean, clinicaltrials.gov, you can find these companies on there, network with these guys on LinkedIn and gals on LinkedIn. So today we're going to get into Kintara Therapeutics. And as you can see behind me, developing advanced oncology therapies for rare unmet medical needs. This is the future of research, guys. It's rare. Small is the new big. I keep saying it. So with all that being said, guys and gals, let's get into it. Let's do some due diligence. Let's explore. I got to remind you, this is not financial advice. Never take my financial advice. I look for biotechs, especially small cap ones. Sometimes I do some big ones, but small cap ones that I'm personally interested in. It does not mean I'm invested in them. I'm not invested in this one. KTRA is the symbol. But I think it's interesting. So this is Kintara Therapeutics. Let's get into it. They currently have, so let's look at the stock price first. As of March 19th, it's at $2.04. It's hovered between 38 cents and 3.35. Why do I like this one? Well, I saw a lot of activity on Reddit, and we're going to get into it. But basically, the price target is $5 from one analyst. So let's look at why I like this. And first thing you got to do, you got to check StockTwits to know like the zeitgeist, the overall feel of what the community, because social media matters a lot, like internet matters a lot to people. So short borrow fee rate is 71%, not much shares left, possible short squeeze. This is the latest things people have been talking about. On Reddit, shout out to Reddit username P Boenzola. He does great due diligence on KTRA, and let's look at Kintara's official presentation to learn the rationale behind this. All right, so it's a diversified oncology companies with 2 late-stage products. They have novel therapeutics targeting clear unmet cancer needs. Glioblastoma multiforme, if you look at the pipeline, they are in phase 3. It's a phase 2 and 3 study, and they have fast track. They also have, which we're not going to spend as much time on, but just know that they have this in the pipeline as well, cutaneous metastatic breast cancer. Market opportunity is $500 million. This is phase 3 ready. This will be exciting. This is enough to push this company forward even after the GBM data comes out. Patients with MGMT unmethylated in adjuvant or recurrent. So this one's going to end in June 2021. So that's the next catalyst coming up very soon. We should expect top-line data. Let's go back to the due diligence and we'll see. But we should expect top-line data shortly. And then the other study they have for glioblastoma is newly diagnosed and recurrent in unmethylated. So one is in methylated, one is in unmethylated. So the reason they chose to go into, and they got selected, actually, they voluntarily wanted to go, but you had to be selected by the Global Coalition for Adaptive Research. GBM Agile Pivotal Registration Study provides optimal path forward for the lead asset, VAL-083. This accelerates phase 3 development times while reducing expenses and provides 3 shots on goal unique to VAL-083. They're partnering with the Global Coalition for Adaptive Research. They're using an adaptive randomized trial. We're going to get into it, exactly what that means in a little bit. Multiple follow-on indications with existing orphan designations and or approved INDs. So you have orphan drug designation and fast track designation, which means a much faster FDA approval timeline or an FDA decision timeline. In June 2021, the phase 2 study ending enrollment. And then in 2024, you're going to have the phase 2 and 3 study ending enrollment. Then you also have the cutaneous metastatic breast cancer, 15 patients confirmatory study leading into pivotal study. So here's the opportunity for glioblastoma, an major unmet medical need, greater than $800 million market, growing to $1.4 billion by 2027. 30,000 newly diagnosed patients in the US and the EU. The GBM Agile Phase 2-3 registration study, FDA approved and strongly endorsed adaptive sign, involvement from numerous KOLs, partnership with Global Coalition for Adaptive Research. Kintara is the only company currently approved to initiate trial for all three glioblastoma patient groups: newly diagnosed unmethylated, newly diagnosed methylated, which is less than 40% of glioblastoma patients, and recurrent. So the unmethylated is in the phase 2, and that is the majority of glioblastoma patients. That's going to end, the phase 2 study is going to end in June of this year, June 2021. And then the methylated, which is less common, but it's almost 50-50, it's 60-40. That is going to end in June 2024. That's the one, whether using the agile design. I don't believe this one that's going to end in 2021 is using the GBM agile design. So let's look a little bit about that, because they're talking about, okay, this is an involvement from numerous. What are the advantages of being in this registration study with the Global Coalition for Adaptive Research? GBM Agile is an entirely unique approach to clinical trials made possible by the partnership and collaboration of clinicians, researchers, government, regulatory agency, pharmaceutical companies, and patient advocacy groups. It's truly patient-centric. For those that follow the Clinical Trial Guru, clinical research type of content, this is not a traditional randomized controlled trial, which is used to be considered the gold standard, still is. This is a flexible and adaptive trial approach that maintains several treatment arms, giving it the potential to fundamentally change the clinical research process for glioblastoma by identifying or disproving therapies more quickly. This will help usher in a new generation of effective treatments for GBM, the most common and deadliest type of brain cancer. The new clinical trial approach is advantageous to glioblastoma patients because it will help identify effective treatments faster, allowing researchers to simultaneously and dynamically study the effects of multiple unique drugs. GBM Agile uses adaptive randomization, allowing for dynamic adjustment. So if one treatment arm outperforms another, a higher proportion of new enrollees in the study will be assigned to that treatment arm, a technique called adaptive randomization. Simply put, GBM Agile is patient-centric, not drug-centric. You hear this all the time, patient-centric, and provides a streamlined method for researchers to utilize data connectivity within the trial to answer many questions concurrently. So they're saying the clinical trial of the future, and it may be so. So researchers learn this stuff. If you work in the industry, if you're in the CRA, CRC Academy, you need to learn the clinical trial of the future. Adaptive randomization. This is strategic partners. Look, they have IQVIA, which is the biggest CRO, who's probably monitoring this study. It's very interesting how they've designed this study. Seamless transition to phase 3. Phase 2 patients are used in final analysis, led by key opinion leaders in the field. Regulatory buy-in at the highest level with strong FDA letter of support. Rapid study startup and patient enrollment. This stuff's expensive. Turnkey solution, because they're collaborating on that trial, they're sharing the expenses, which for a 60-something million dollar market cap company is important. Provides significant time and cost savings versus multiple trials. So they partnered with IQVIA, which is the biggest CRO, on that study. Kintara's arm has initiated patient randomization in the GBM trial as of January 2021. So they just started Kintara's arm. Major unmet, so it looks like they were just added to that particular study. Major unmet medical need. So that's what the glioblastoma. Now it's the cutaneous metastatic breast cancer, which is basically breast cancer that metastasizes to the skin. It's just going to go through it real quick. 40,000 patients in the US, representing $500 million market opportunity. Future pipeline opportunities, they have the, for VAL083, they have platinum-resistant ovarian cancer, non-small cell lung cancer, other solid tumors, and for REM001, other cutaneous metastatic cancers, recurrent basal cell carcinoma nevus syndrome, barriers to competition, GBM orphan drug designation in US and EU, 7 years market exclusivity after approval, 10 years market exclusivity after approval in Europe, ovarian orphan drug designation in US, and then for REM, it's a new chemical entity, 5-year data exclusivity after approval in the US. So Q1 2021, which is now, right now, they've already commenced enrollment in the Agile study. Looks like Kintara was just added, which is really good news for them. Q2 2021, which we're about to approach, AACR posters, data updates for phase 2 glioblastoma study. So that's the one that's not the Agile study. Top line results for the phase 2 recurrent adjuvant GBM study. We should expect that like in June. The enrollment is going to end in June of that one. And then in Q4 of 2021, top line results for the cutaneous metastatic breast cancer study. And then Q1 2022, Agile registration study, graduation from stage 1 to stage 2. P. Boenzola did some due diligence here. So financials, let's see, price target. Right now it's at 205, I think. The average price target is $5.75 with a high forecast of 7 and a low of 5. Bottom line, according to this due diligence guy on Reddit, if you can get an entry below 3, you're a lucky bastard. What a good thing to call us, lucky bastards. As we end, let's just look at the mission and values. Patients first. You can see the patient-centric designed agile trial. A pipeline of breakthrough cancer therapeutics. VAL is first-in-class small molecule DNA targeting agent that exhibits a novel mechanism of action that results in DNA double-strand breaks and cancer cell death. Published preclinical and clinical data that suggest VAL083 may be active against a range of tumor types. See, it's all about gene therapy, DNA modifications. This is like what the future of clinical research is going to be. This is what's going to propel us for the next decade, if not multiple decades. And then REM001, second generation photosensitizer drug possessing multiple advantages over earlier generation. So all in all, what do I think? I mean, it's very intriguing. I don't just review any biotech that pops up. There's probably like 20 that I look at for every one that I'm going to spend time to actually make a video on, because, and I could be wrong. I mean, some of those 20 that I missed have been huge, but if they don't have US studies, I can't really look into it. I'm intrigued enough. I hope you are intrigued enough to go down the rabbit hole. It's cheap enough. It seems like there's relatively little risk with the fast track designation for the glioblastoma. It's definitely an unmet medical need. The FDA needs more of those. The FDA encourages more of those. We need to see the top line efficacy from the in June 2021 for the glioblastoma phase 2 study. We're also probably going to see some safety follow-up within a year of that, maybe less. And then that phase 2/3 agile study for glioblastoma. It's less risky for Kintara because they're sharing the cost with those other sponsors. So all in all, I might be buying. I don't know yet, but I'm definitely going to be following. I'll probably buy a little bit, to be honest with you. But again, it could go to zero too. So this is not financial advice. But hopefully you can learn a little bit about Kintara, get a little more educated on glioblastoma and on cutaneous metastatic breast cancer, which I knew breast cancer. I'm a CRA. I monitor breast cancer studies, and I knew that it metastasizes to the skin, but I didn't realize that it was an unmet medical need. So I learned something doing the due diligence on this. Hopefully you did as well. And go connect. I'm going to go connect with some Kintara folks on LinkedIn right now too. Catch y'all later. Good luck. See you next time. Bye-bye.